there, people of the grid. It's end of the day already, and Tammy and I are heading out for dinner with friends. So we're leaving the kids for supper. Look at this. Amelia has made pretzels. She even went so far as to make these little cheese bites that are awesome. She's a really good cook. So yeah, we're heading out for supper. When I come back today, I'm going to do a review of the OneWheel. I've only had it for, well, since Christmas. I've only been able to ride it, not that much, but I've put a lot of mileage on it. So I got a pretty good opinion of it so far. So I'll share that with you when I get back from supper. All right. All right, we're on our way to supper. You excited?
Yeah, I've never been here before. I've always wanted to go.
We're going to, it's a Brazilian restaurant. So it's the one with the little shaker thing. Green light means keep bringing us food. Red light means we're done, we're stuffed, we gotta go, right?
First time I went with you and Novell. And
That's
Utah.
right, yeah, the Brazilian place. Do you remember what it was called?
I thought it was called Gaucho, actually.
I don't know. Yeah, it was in Utah, in Salt Lake City, and that's the first time we went. That was amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, I was at Novell for like 9 years. We went there every year that I went to Brainshare. That was excellent.
That's cool.
So that's where we're headed.
I'm excited.
And yeah, it's raining like crazy. It's been raining pretty much all day. The only time it didn't rain was early this morning, and then it started drizzling a bit. So I got out on the OneWheel. I got one ride in today. Pretty good.
Well, Ethan had band. Amelia's still sore.
It hasn't started bruising her arm yet, but I'm sure it will.
It's like a big white welt.
Yeah.
And the girls had a movie at school. They were raising money for Make-A-Wish Foundation. So
nice.
we made quite a bit of money today.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Alrighty, supper time. Well, hello there, people of the grid. We are finally back home. We went out for supper to Gaucho's. Gaucho's. It's a Brazilian restaurant. It was really, really good. Awesome. Lots of food, lots of salad. It was just so good. They had these gluten-free cheese buns, which normally gluten-free equals doesn't taste good. These things were delicious. I don't even know how many I had. They were so good. You guys would love it. So, so we had a great time there, and as promised, I'm going to fill you in on my OneWheel. So let me go get it. This is a OneWheel. It's a little heavy. This thing is a ton of fun. I got it for Christmas. I did a bunch of research, and I thought I need one of these because this, you can ride it off the beaten path. So you can ride it on a sidewalk, on a road, but then you can go on grass, you can go on gravel, you can go on rocks, you can go over bumpy terrain in the forest. This thing is pretty epic. A couple of things. The OneWheel, when you let it go, one side naturally sits down. That's the side that one foot goes on, of course. Now this front side has the sensor pad. When you put your foot on the sensor pad and you level out, basically what happens is the software in the controller maintains balance. All you need to do at that point is just lift one end or lift the other to speed up. If you lift the nose up, it'll speed up. If you push the nose down, it'll slow down and eventually go backwards. Now, when I got the OneWheel, when I did my original research, I wanted it for some pretty specific reasons. Number one was the ability to go off-road. In the summer, we camp a lot, and I thought it would be nice to have that skateboarding experience, that carving experience out when we're camping. You know, just for something to do. And I originally thought when I got it, this would be more of a slow speed type ride. So unlike the boosted board, which you can go very, very fast, in my mind, I thought the OneWheel goes at a much slower pace, much more casual pace. And initially, when I was learning how to ride it, that was true. But now that I've gotten better at it, I've got 250 kilometers of experience on it. Now that I've gotten better at it, that thing flies. That thing goes faster than anybody has any business going on the road. Because if you were to wipe out at that speed, it would not be pretty. I've fallen on the OneWheel a handful of times, 3 or 4 or 5 times. And what I did is I went through and did some research on exactly how the software maintains that equilibrium, that balance. And once you get your head around and understand that, it helps you become a better rider among the core balance and, making sure you've got that dialed in. So here's my take on it. Learning how to ride the OneWheel. I come from a background, I've skateboarded forever. I've been riding the shorter skateboards, the longer skateboards. I've done a couple of tricks, that type of stuff. But switching over to the OneWheel, it's kind of more of a board sport. So it's a little closer to snowboarding, surfing, although it's like neither of those either. It's kind of in its own area. So learning how to do it takes a bit of finesse, takes a bit of time. It's not that hard. It's very easy to pick up. It's just a matter of understanding, how not to wipe out and what could put you in a situation where you might wipe out. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, when I was using it for my commute run from here to my meeting, I did wipe out once. And I wiped out while I was on the grass. That's what I was trying to tell you guys, but I had the camera pointing the wrong way. So what I was doing was, let me see. I was riding the OneWheel, and I was riding it down on a grassy trail, and my back foot and my front foot are on it, and I wanted to reposition my back foot. Now, on a bumpy trail or off-road, the OneWheel is moving around a lot more, so you're working more to maintain proper balance. What happened to me was I started moving my foot around the back, and as soon as you lift your foot on the back even a little, the board basically flips up this way, the nose dives into the ground, and you go flying that way. That's what happened to me. I wasn't going that fast. I landed. I was fine. So just be conscious of when you're learning how to ride it, you basically have to maintain balance and don't drive that front nose into the ground. The other thing that I learned through all of my reading was that if the OneWheel, it's called kickback. If you're trying to go fast by leaning forward, if the OneWheel ever kicks back and tries to bring that nose up, that's a signal for you to back off, because it's saying I'm at my limit of what I can take and I need to level out. And if I cannot level out, it'll basically go into a nose down mode and you'll go flying because it just can't maintain balance. The software in the OneWheel is designed to always maintain balance. And then by you shifting the position of the board, it goes. It's not meant to be driven, like this. Although there is a mode called hill mode or whatever, where it actually puts the nose up. I don't like that mode, but anyway. So what you want to do is keep it as level as possible and just gradual tips. So you can accelerate fairly quickly, but it's more of a gradual acceleration to get up to speed. Now what I found after riding it as much as I have is that you really get used to the speed of the board. And one thing that I like doing is now I've sort of started pretty much when I'm riding, I'm always carving. It just feels really good. So I'm always carving as I ride the OneWheel down the street or the grass or whatever. It just feels a lot like snowboarding or surfing or wakeboarding. You're just carving. It's awesome. When you're doing that, your legs get really tired. And if your legs get tired, you get a little shaky, just like you would on a snowboard. And when your legs are tired, that's when bad things can happen. So you just want to be conscious of that. What I've found works really good is that only happens because you tend to ride the OneWheel with the same foot position for a long time. It's important to switch it up. So ride switch for a while, let your other leg muscles sort of take over for a bit. It gives the other ones a chance to rest, and then you can go back to your normal riding position. What else do I want to tell you about the OneWheel? Well, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to ride. And what I've found is, for me, I can get easily about 10 to 12 and a half. Hey, Amelia. I could get 10 to 12 and a half kilometers out of a single charge. And it takes, once I'm done, and it's pretty much drained of power, it takes about 1 hour for it to be ready to go. The integration of the OneWheel app on the app is awesome. It'll tell you how fast you're going. It'll tell you how far you've gone. And it guesstimates how much further you've got to go. Also tells you what your percentage of battery remaining is. So it does a really good job of giving you all the important stuff that you need. and then just letting you focus on having fun when you ride it. Not having a controller in my hands, that's pretty cool. You know, you're just kind of shifting weight, or shifting board position more so than shifting weight. That's one of the things I read that a lot of people get wrong when they're learning, is they figure that on that board, if I want to make it go forward, I have to shift my weight forward. Your weight is always over the center line of the wheel. All you're doing is bending one leg or bending the other. That's how you tilt the board. The software then detects the tilt, and it gives you a little more speed and a little more push. Yeah, that's about it. Would I recommend getting one? Would I get one again? Absolutely. The OneWheel I've got is the OneWheel Plus. I got it for Christmas, and then I think about a couple of weeks later, they came out with the OneWheel Extended Range, which I think increased the range by about 150% or so, almost double what this one's got. But for what I found is, even riding one full battery on this one, by the time that time is up, which is roughly about a half an hour, 35 minutes, and that's going pretty quick. So after 35 minutes of flying, my legs are pretty tired. I need a break. It's good to sit down, grab a coffee, and in that time, you've charged up the board enough to go again. So that's about it. I would get another one in an instant. When you're learning how to ride, wear a helmet, wear the pads, especially if you haven't done any of this stuff before. If you're thinking of getting one and you know somebody who has an Indo board, it's one of those balance boards, it has a fulcrum, that's a great way to get a feel for the OneWheel. And it just makes you a better rider, I think, too. The other thing I found is that I spent a lot of my time learning how to ride the OneWheel on small pea gravel type stuff, sidewalks and roads. I haven't done a lot of off-road. I've only started doing off-road. That's a whole new learning curve. So don't assume that even once you've got a lot of time and a lot of miles on the road, that directly translates to off-road. It doesn't. It's a completely different experience. And so take the time to figure out the off-road stuff. I think that's about it. If you guys have questions about the OneWheel, put them in the comments below. I'd love to know what you guys think of it. You've seen me ride it a few times. I'm going to start, I've let Amelia try it out already, one of our kids, and I'll let the other ones try it and sort of show you what it takes to go from not having ridden one to getting a feel for the OneWheel. It's not that bad. The only other tip I have for you guys is order it in the spring or the summer. Mine arrived in the winter, and I really, really wanted to ride it, and you are so tempted to ride it in your house. Don't do that. If you fall off of that thing and you fall off while it's accelerating, it'll go through a wall. Thankfully, that didn't happen to me, but I could see it happening because when you're learning, you really don't know kind of how you should stand and what position. And the thing is, it's heavy. So if it falls over, even on a hardwood floor, you're going to leave a mark. All right, that's it. Good chatting with you guys. Hope you had a good day. I will catch up with you tomorrow. Let me know what you think about the OneWheel. I know one of you guys, I think Albert H., you picked one up. He's getting a lot of miles on his too. So enjoy. Catch up with you tomorrow. Have a good sleep. Miker out.